Hi, this is Cheryl from Connecticut, and I'm here to talk to you about the counseling session videos and the textbook readings from this week's module. The counseling sessions were definitely what I imagined them to be because I consider myself a seasoned client. I've been going to counseling for many, many years, and pretty much everything that I witnessed in those videos were what I have experienced in my own sessions. From the readings, the skills and characteristics that I did notice were that they all had eye contact, excellent listening skills, they checked understanding, they were warm, they were empathetic, there was unconditional positive regard, and professionalism. The other thing that I did notice was the amount of nonverbal communication that they had in regards to their facial expressions and their body positions. And I think having a very open body position where they were not sitting back in the chair with the arms crossed, they were engaged physically and emotionally with their faces. It just makes the client feel more at ease to engage in conversation and talk about some very difficult things in counseling session when the counselor, him or herself, is much more receiving. The differences that I did note, I mentioned the similarities. The differences were in how the counselors engaged with the client, the types of questions that they asked. I noticed that counselor number 1 in the brainstorming session, he did utilize the intervention and action piece that we did learn about. He did check understanding. And counselor number 2 was utilizing a phrase that I'm not that familiar with hearing in a counseling session about talk to me more about or tell me about. She did use the attentive silence and allow the client to, by her pausing, allow the client to expand upon her thoughts and add a little bit more to what she was expressing. The third counseling video with the dancing and helping, I have to say that I related to the most. I really appreciated how he used open-ended questions. They were leading questions. He was very engaging. He had thought-provoking questions, but I also found him to be very perceptive. He seemed to really understand how dance was her emotional outlet and the difficulties she had with the verbal expression and how that's going to impact her potential college major and career choice. So I found that session very interesting, and I was kind of hoping that there was a little bit more to watch. One of the questions that I do have is there a benefit or downside to saying things in a session like talk to me about this or talk to me more about this, tell me about this, when it's used rather repeatedly in a session? Is there a benefit or a downside to the client on the receiving end who continues to hear that question? Are they more or less likely to be responsive to it? I felt the videos were all very helpful. The reading was extremely helpful to help prepare us to be counselors. And I look forward to practicing what we learned. Thanks.